Folks, welcome back to our second edition of What's Going on Experience here on Fox Sports 1280 with me and my man Ryan V. And today's segment is sponsored in part by the Ebony Canal. Rochester, you're invited to attend the film screening of the Ebony Canal, a story of Black infant health, narrated by none other than Academy Award winner Viola Davis on Sunday, April 16th, 2026 at 3 p.m. at the Dryden Theater, 900 East Avenue. For tickets and information, please contact Ms. Deborah Stamps, Consulting, 585-414-6622. This is going to be a tremendous event. I would like to see folks come on out there and participate in just the conversation and the film itself. It's powerful poetic storytelling and lived experience. The documentary traces the historical and present day pipeline connecting infant mortality to maternal health outcomes for Black and brown women. Please participate April 26th. Dryden Theater. Be there or be square. Right, guy. Talking about square. Did the Yankees win opening day?
Did we win opening day? We didn't just win, we dominated on opening day. In fact, the Yankees are not just undefeated, but nobody scored, or I should say the Giants, and nobody else has scored a run against us yet. 2 shutouts, the first time in Yankee history the Yankees have gone 2-0
Get out of
without
here.
giving up any runs to start the season.
Now, who pitched the first game for them? Because I know you got the Stinkies.
My man Max Fried pitched a gem that first game. I don't know that it wasn't up to his standard, and he didn't seem to hit the velocity he normally does with his fastball, but only gave up a couple of hits, no earned runs, like I stated. And it looks like the Yankees don't have to hit home runs to win. It looks like we finally have a balanced lineup, Nate. It's what we've been waiting for a long time. I could go on a huge tirade right now about my anger towards how we don't usually have a good opening day roster. This is the best Yankees opening day roster that I can remember since the glory days, since at least 2009. So off to a good start.
So you guys off to a good start. Where do you see? Because the rest of the American League gonna catch up as well, right? So everybody's.
I don't know. It doesn't seem that way. Okay. It seems like the teams don't spend money. Teams take steps backwards.
Okay.
It seems that everybody's either going to LA or to the Mets or, eventually with the Yankees. I hate to say it, but it looks like we're set up for, Nate. And I was thinking about it yesterday. We are set up for the most epic World Series matchup in the past 25 years and arguably the greatest Yankees World Series if they win. After losing to the Dodgers 2 years ago, after our rivals, the Blue Jays, losing to the Dodgers in the World Series last year, I have a pretty good feeling the Dodgers are going to beat the Mets or beat the Padres or anyone else that might stand in their way and make it back to the World Series to face the Yankees again. And let me tell you, Nate, I see you rolling your eyes there, but this could be set up for the best Yankees World Series win maybe in 50 years. If we can stop that three-peat and beat this super team, I bet it won't just be the best Yankees World Series, but it might just save baseball and give fans a reason to watch and not say, oh, it's just a game of money. You could say, oh, the Yankees have a $300-some-odd million payroll, but they grew that team. Look at that homegrown talent.
All right.
Look at our homegrown talent.
This is what I got. This is what I got to do for
the New York Yankees.
I got to get some experts because you just Yankee.
I'm not trying to be Yankee. I'm talking homegrown talent on the Yankees that we have that I haven't seen since the 90s.
I'm going to get my man Donovan Money D up in his bad boy. He's from the Moneyball channel. He covers all the minor league teams, does all the major league, and he's very fair. He's not like you.
Yeah.
Because
we see how often a Moneyball team wins a World Series.
But no, listen. He's not a homer like you or me, because we're both homers. So I want an independent, objective guy. So in the next couple of weeks, listeners, we're going to get him up here, and I want him to dissect why Ryan really feels that if the Yankees, because we always have our little clips, if the Yankees and Dodgers meet in 2026 World Series, it will be epic. Now, I'm going to tell you what's going to be epic. When the Mets beat the freaking Dodgers. See, that's going to be epic. See, you don't understand what epic is, okay? So let's just break this down for a quick second. We got a few minutes. I told you the Mets have they so new, I don't even know who the dudes are. I'm trying to figure out who the cats that the Mets got. I know they got the Peralta dude. He had a shaky first inning or two when they was playing the Pirates the other day, right? But he got it together. He locked in, struck out a whole bunch of people. But at the end of the day, you are right, Ryan. The Dodgers, we have to be Dodger killers. The Mets' only mission is to take down the Dodgers. And the way they won the other night, as much as I miss Pete Alonso and all that, they did a couple of home runs, but it was like basically regular back in the day baseball, stealing some bases, okay, stretching a single into a double, stretching a double into a triple. I'm like, whoa, this is like real baseball. So I'm excited. And plus, they played the Pirates. And, they got Paul Skees. Now I was hoping he was going to be a Met, but after the opening day, they took that guy only to the first inning, Ryan. And you said it happened.
It happens.
Why?
It happens to the best.
Why would something like that happen to a guy coming off the best major league season as a pitcher? They said in the last 25 years, he gets waxed up and taxed up in the first freaking inning by the New York Mets. You like I said that, right? The New York Mets.
Well, it could be because the World Baseball Classic, as you mentioned, maybe he didn't get enough rest. But I don't think that's it. I think it just happens. It happens to the best pitchers. I don't care if you're Greg Maddux or Randy Johnson or Nolan Ryan or Cy Young. I'm sure you could go back in time and see some horrible outings by some. And look, we've got MLB legend and our own Greg Vaughn is here backstage.
Boy, I am so glad
he'll stop my bias quick because Greg, I was just talking about how I really do think that
Greg,
this
Greg,
could
Greg, listen to this, Greg. But please listen to his philosophy. Go ahead, Ryan.
Before we get more into the Mets, Greg, I'm sorry. I know you watched it. Greg's a Giants fan. You were watching the same games I was. I know you're rolling your eyes over there. But that Yankees lineup isn't just hitting home runs. Yeah, of course, we had our usual suspects hit home runs yesterday. But the bottom of the lineup looks deadly. I love Jazz Chisholm. I love Rosario. I love Calabero. And most important, I love these young homegrown guys that we have both in AAA that could back us up throughout the year. Our bullpen is looking nasty. I'm sure Greg has been dreading this moment.
Greg, this is only the second game, so help me out with this, brother. Help me.
Listen, bias.
You know what? I'm a little shocked. I thought this would be Nate. You know what I mean? Instead of Ryan. I thought it would definitely be Nate on here with his pom poms out, cheering about the Knicks and the Mets. You know what I mean? The Amazings. You know what I mean? It's but 2 games, Ryan? Really? 2 games?
That's all I needed to see. That's all I need. I didn't even need to see the other 5 starting pitchers. I got all I needed to see. And it's that energy. It's that same energy I felt in 2009. I feel it again. And we're saying, this is what I said, Greg, is that if the Yankees do beat the Dodgers in the World Series, it'll save baseball. And yeah, we're the Yankees, the behemoth. We spend all this money, but this Yankees team is not a team that was just built by spending money. It was built on trial and error. It was built on getting guys from, drafting them and actually, Matt Blake doing what he does, all these pitchers from different teams that weren't superstars and overspending money on them. I'm sorry, but I think we're set up for.
You know what's so funny about this? Remember during free agent, how pissed off he was because they weren't spending money. Now he's happy that they didn't spend money after 2 games.
I'm glad
this is why I'm not the general manager of the New York Yankees.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going like, Ryan, you were giving them the business because they wasn't spending any money. Now they're the greatest things to slice bread. So, Greg, we got to go to commercial in a couple of minutes, and we're going to come back and talk more baseball. But could you just give the listeners your opening day view? Okay, because I know you probably covered, looked at all the different games and whatnot, right? And I know it's early to tell right about now, but I'm going to say this to everybody before I am a freaking, what's my man's name for Kansas City? The second baseman?
Bobby Witt.
I am a Bobby Witt. All I know, I don't care what team he plays for, Greg, I'm following that guy the whole season.
Oh, great. So you'll probably be a Yankees fan then is what you're saying, because I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in pinstripes.
Well,
we'll wait to spend the money on him, Greg.
They're not going to leave. They're not going to let him leave ever. You know what I mean? I think he'll be this heirs of George Brett. For the Kansas City
Yes.
Royals. You know what I mean? But you know what? He plays the game the right way. He posts every day, and he plays hard. You know what I mean? So, and he puts up numbers. You know what I mean? He give. They need a home run. He gets a home run. If they need a hit, go first to third, steal a base. He does it all. Complete ball player.
Hey,
I
we're gonna
love
take a
him on
quick break,
defense
and when
too.
we come
Just
right back, we're gonna dive into some more of baseball opening day and where we're going here. I'm gonna even give y'all some tips on the Rochester Red Wings, who we happen to be the farm system for the Washington Nationals. And I want to ask Greg, does the Nationals have any kind of chance, snowball chance in hell? We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. But Greg Vaughn, he got his little Oak Hill hat on. I don't know what kind of hat he's on. And Greg, you gotta tell your man Tiger Woods stop drinking. You got to tell your boy, put the booze down, and if not, then get an Uber. Get an
They
Uber.
said he wasn't drinking, right? It was something else. Was it? Was it
I don't
alcohol?
care. He don't need to be in a car anyway. He don't need to be driving. Period. He got
Right.
enough money to get a damn chauffeur. We'll be right back. Tiger, follow me when I'm saying to you, Tiger. You don't need to be driving. Hey, folks, welcome back to What's Going On Experience here on Fox Sports 1280. And before we left on our Heart Media, Greg joined the show, and we got Ryan here. And I was just giving a shout out to the Rochester Red Wings. They happen to be the farm team for the Washington Nationals. And also, Greg, I'm trying to get them to make sure they invite you in June to Negro Leagues Night. I'm trying to get you into Negro Leagues Night in June, Greg. So, because I know you got a connection to the Negro Leagues, and I'll be meeting with them probably in the next couple of weeks and trying to lock that down. But anyway, man, I'm excited about baseball season. I'm so excited, Greg. I don't even know none of the Mets other than Lindor and Soto. They got a whole new team, Greg.
They're athletic now too, right? They're a lot more athletic. I mean, I think baseball's transitioning from, uh, you know, this 3-run home run every single inning. It's getting back to speed, first to third. It was it's good baseball now.
Didn't I say that, Ryan? Ryan, what did I say?
yeah, the Mets. Yeah, it's a good, well-rounded team, and they
After
still
two,
got some power in that lineup.
it's just like I won't be, I'm not going to jump on Ryan's bandwagon after 2 games and say, back up the trophy case and give me the chip yet. I just think we got a long way to go. I got to give a shout out to also my boy Justin Crawford. I played with his dad, Carl Crawford in
Yeah.
Tampa, and to see him running around the clubhouse now, he got 2 hits his first big league game, so that's amazing. So good things are happening, and you're starting to see all these players with their kids starting to play. I knew Bobby Witt Sr. took me out on my recruiting trip at Oklahoma, so it's good to see all these guys running around and making a name for themselves. But it's a good time of year. It's I know what's coming, but it's still a good time of the year, and hopefully they can somehow find a way to get around this work stoppage that's going to come because.
So,
Like you
so
said,
talk a little about Greg. Talk a little bit about the work stoppage because I don't think people are really putting that into focus because they were looking at the WNBA work stoppage, but they came to an agreement and they'll get a little more cheddar what they got to get done because they can't afford to stop working in the WNBA. Let's just be honest. So with the Major League Baseball, because of the way the contracts are, right? Baseball is the only sport that don't got no cap. Because if they did, the Yankees and the freaking Dodgers and Mets wouldn't be buying everybody. So they ain't got no cap, Greg. Let's start there.
Yeah, there's no cap, which is good as a player, right? As a player, that's what we want. We want, but you're seeing the guys get, the have and the have-nots, and the middleman now. There's no, either you're getting it or your guys' careers are getting cut shorter because they're pricing themselves out, right? So I think if they wouldn't pay it if they couldn't afford it, right? So I think like I said, the TV money that they're making nowadays is so enormous that everyone's getting paid. But like I said, you're seeing that middleman though. The middleman is getting weeded out. That guy that's getting 5 to 10 years. You've seen a lot of turnover on the rosters now, and I think guys are becoming more athletic and the game's getting better, but also at the same time, guys' careers are getting cut shorter also.
So, Greg, remember the back in the day, and Ryan, I don't know if you remember this. They used to have a player called the utility player. Am I right, Greg? That
Yes,
guy
sir.
will come in, he'll hit a home run, steal a base. Hell, if he have to pitch for you, he'll pitch for you. But he was an all around. He could play every base. So, is that character extinct, Greg? That utility ball player?
I think so. I think you do have, you know, uh, usually you have one guy that can play all four infield positions, right?
Yep.
And then now that guy can also go in the outfield too, and relieve a guy if you need him to. Kiki Hernandez, good example for the Dodgers.
For the Dodgers,
Can play
yes.
all over the diamond, right? Heart and soul. I think you're going to see some of those players, but now guys get so much rest. I don't, guys don't post 500-600 at bats. If you're not a star now. When I played, everyone posted 600 at bats. Utility player might have got 100 at bats, maybe, and that's playing four different positions. Guys, you have some horses, like Machado and those guys that post every day. I think with the DH in both leagues, it's a way to give a guy a break here and there. But yeah, it's the roster, man, and they expanded the roster, so they're able to keep. They're able to have other, extra guys where they weren't before, and they're also able to carry extra pitchers. So, we'll see. We'll see what the new bargaining agreement looks like and how long this stoppage that I foresee coming is going to last. Because, you have some guys making 60, 70 million. Are they going to hold out or are they going to want their bread? You know what I mean? I went through 4 or 5 of them, man. It's
not good, is it, Greg? I mean, it
yeah,
does.
it's not good at all.
I mean, mentally
No,
and physically and all that on the family and everything, it takes a toll. Am I right?
No, it does take a toll because it's sort of like the politics. You have one side, you have ownership, management, saying the players are this and that. And so you go in places and people are saying you guys are greedy, and then the
Yep.
owners are, we're saying the owners have it, and make Oakland, make Pittsburgh, make Cleveland, make all these teams spend revenue sharing. They shouldn't be able to put it in there. I mean,
In
if
their
they're getting so
pocket.
much revenue, yeah, they're getting so much revenue, they got to spend it. They can't put it in their pocket. We're giving it to them, not to get, their lives are good. We're spending it so the fans can get a better product on the field, right? So, there's some things that have to be ironed out, and I think we'll see what happens. Like I said, it's not good for the game. It's not good for the players. It's not good for the fans, and it's not good for anyone.
So
The
when
rich
you,
get
I'm
richer
sorry,
and
go
the
ahead,
poor.
Ryan. I'm sorry.
Well, it's just like always. It's just the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. I think they just need to put a salary floor more than a salary ceiling, where it's like there's a responsibility that comes with owning a professional sports team. And if it's to go in there and just make money and profit and not give a
And
good
not give
product
the
in
fans
return,
something. Yeah.
there needs to be some type of penalty or some way to avoid that happening. Teams like you mentioned, Greg, the Athletics or whoever else that just has the money and doesn't spend it, that's a huge disservice to the fan base
Yes.
and to the
Yes.
players.
And to the players, because you're not putting anything competitive on the field. And I think every person who plays sports professionally want to win. I don't think there's not one person, Greg, that that don't want to win, that don't want to get a chip. And I think that's important. Okay, so you're absolutely correct. Ryan, are we good? What's up? You got the look on your face.
No, we're
Okay.
good to go.
All right, good. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, our last segment, we're going to back up and talk about a little bit of basketball. And Cade Cunningham, in case you didn't know that, I guess has a little injury now, Ryan. And we're going to figure out what that happens to be. We're going to talk about what's going on in college because Duke did get past St. John's, which I had St. John's going all the way. I'm a homer. I had St. John's going all the way. But Duke did their thing, man, and I got to give it to them, even though I'm not a Dookie. We'll be right back, Fox Sports 1280. Don't go no place. What's going on? Greg Vaughn. Got my man Ryan V. And, of course, me. Hey, welcome back, folks, to What's Going On, The Experience here on Fox Sports 1280, iHeartMedia. And aren't we on New Solutions Network also, Ryan?
We are indeed. All over New Solutions Network, newsolutionsnetwork.com.
So okay,
for
so
more
we get
info.
around. We get around like Tupac. We get around. We get around.
That's right.
We get around. Speaking of getting around, man, Rochester is getting around, bro. I don't know about what y'all might not notice, but Rochester is getting around. Matter of fact, later on today last week we had a young man who played for Kansas, Melvin Council Jr. They almost beat the team that they played. I guess they were playing St. John's. St. John's gave them the business, but we did have a guy in that game from Rochester. Also, we have a well-known ref, Greg. We're going to be getting him up on the show after the season. My man, I call him affectionately Jeff the Ref, Jeff Anderson. He will be out in Chicago this weekend covering that game. He covered the games in Buffalo. So I've been on a roll the last couple of weeks just watching crazy basketball back and forth. But as we talk about this Elite Eight, Ryan, this has been a pretty decent tournament. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. And what it really comes down to now is that you can it's a lot easier to bet. It seems that the top seeds are way more likely to win. It's a lot easier to establish who the best teams in college basketball are because the best players are going to the best teams at this point. At least that's what it seems like. You're not going to see like a Wichita State upset. There weren't really Cinderella stories this year, and I feel like they're going to disappear more and more as players keep going to the best teams with the most money. Is it crazy? Am I crazy to say that? Did you guys notice the disparage between the
well,
best
you're
and the
not
worst
crazy to
teams this
say
year?
that because that's why a lot of HBCUs can't get into Division One. I mean, Howard was there. They played Michigan and they lost, but they got waxed. But like you said, Greg, they don't have the money to compete with a Duke or North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the money in the alumni now. That's why they're going to those schools, and you said it. So they can go switch up and go to Kansas because my man Melvin Council Jr. started out his career going to several different schools and ended up in Kansas. So you're right. You have the money at those big school, Greg, so they can compete. You got to have heart at the smaller schools and less money.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the money and you talk about the facilities. You know what I
Yes.
mean? But, you look at some of the, even take a LSU's women's team. Look at their locker rooms.
Ooh.
They're better than every single HBC
Every
locker room.
single
You know what I mean?
one.
We're talking
Every single
every
one.
single one. They're better, men and females. So I mean, they're treated like pros. They have the best. Like they have the best equipment. They have the resources to get you what you need if something's not going right, and it's hard because a lot 99% of them aren't going to make it, right? So they got to
Yes.
get their bread when they can get their bread, and everyone's dream is to maybe not put a program on your back and try to bring it up to rise to glory, right? A lot of them, yeah, we want to play. We want to play for a big school, and it was like the one. What was the big upset day one? To beat Wisconsin. Who was it?
I
High
forget
Point.
who it was.
I mean,
Yeah, High
I mean,
Point.
I'm surprised at High Point. I
And
mean,
that's
if
in
their
North
coach,
Carolina, right?
yeah, if their coach isn't gone or somebody else, I mean, he might be at North Carolina next year. Who knows? Hubert Davis is gone. You know what I mean? So coaches are leaving, players are leaving, and with the finances and the way the system's set up, hey, rich get richer, but it also gives small time guys that were overlooked a chance to get put on the big stage.
But what you said something interesting. Okay, so North Carolina, why they get rid of Hubert Davis? Because I'm saying, okay, he's been there 5 years. Everybody's not going to Carolina. Everybody ain't going to Duke. They're not going to those, so they're spreading the love. So you can't give him the business like that. Now, yeah, maybe you could do a better job recruiting, but some of these kids, like you said, Greg, they want to play. And if I'm on the bench at North Carolina and I can make me some cheddar playing for Wisconsin or Iowa, I'm going there. At least I can play.
Yeah, but I think that's part of it, though. But you're up 18, and the way they lost that game,
Oh yeah,
this is third year in a row, one and done. I don't think that's not the standards for
for North
Chapel
Carolina.
Hill. You know what I mean? Yeah, and then you got 15 minutes down the road, Duke's getting, they're in the top 5 recruiting every single year.
Every year.
We have Jordan Brand behind us. We have Dean Smith Center. We have all the things.
All the
Why
traffic.
aren't we recruiting the same type of athletes that they are? You know what I mean? We got to, and the product on the court. I understand their best player was out, but the product on the court hasn't been that good the last couple of years.
What you think, Rod Guy?
No, I got to agree. I think that there needs to be some type. What is the solution to this? Like, is it just going to get worse and worse? Is it just going to be at the point where literally the best schools that have the absolute best equipment, the best facilities, are the only ones that are going to get recruits? Because competitive spirit's not enough. Do you ever see the NCAA regulating it more and maybe
Well,
putting a cap on what they could spend, or putting a ceiling on all this?
how about this? It's like the Premier League, like the soccer league over there. When they move a player, they have to have a posting fee. So if you're a top tier school and you take someone from a lower division, you have to pay that school a posting fee also to get that player.
Mm.
You can't just take the player, right? You can't just go in the portal. The school should have to get something too, because
They should
I
get
mean,
compensated.
yeah, because these schools are out here, they're recruiting these kids, they're counting on them, right? They're taking them to a certain level, and as soon as they rise up a little bit, then they're gone. Now we have to start all over again. So they should be able to get some type of posting fee so they're able to compete. Whatever that number is, I don't know.
Now, how about this? Also, I see a lot of schools, including football, are having what they call GMs at the school. Greg and Ryan, general managers who actually running the facility as if it was a professional sports team. So, do you think that could assist in that endeavor, Greggy?
I think it's already assisting in that, but because they have to run it like a salary cap, because they do
Right.
have so much, you're allotted so much money from your alumni and from the school, right? And you have to figure out where we're going to spend it, and who's coming out next year, how much are we going to have, are we going to be able to go here, there, and a lot of this is one and done with these superstars, and I don't blame them. I mean, they're making enough money to, jump ship and go into the league. But you're seeing a lot of guys now, just flipping through the channels, 28, 27, playing college basketball now. You know what I mean? They're making more money
They
now.
look old as Ryan.
They- 27, 20, 27, 28.
Yeah.
And they're still playing, and good for them. But at the same time, I just think they're going to have to make a posting fee, because otherwise, the small schools just get stepped on over and over again.
But it's funny you said that, because I'm watching Michigan and I'm like, these damn guys look like they should be in the NBA. I'm serious. I'm watching dudes that don't look like they know college students, Greg and Ryan. You're absolutely correct. And I'm on the floor. They got that grown man on playing college. I'm going, so what's wrong? So Greg, explain it. They 24, 25, 26. And they trying to get that 6-year thing going and happening. They've been to multiple schools. I was talking to one kid, I forget what school it was at, but he'd been to 4 schools. He was on his 4th school in 4 years. His 4th school, Ryan, in 4 years.
Well, but basketball's always been that sport, though. You can go back to AAU. Basketball's one of those things where guys are jumping ship, transferring high schools, AAU teams. But basketball's always, they always kept it moving, right? A kid's at this prep, and all of a sudden he's in a different state at this prep. Now he's at this prep over here, and he's graduating at 20. You know what I mean? It's
right at 19, 20.
Yeah,
He didn't play high school ball for 5 years.
So basketball's been one of those sports that's always had lots of movement. You know what I mean? So I just think the only way you can help out the little man is having a posting fee, man, because you're
That
gonna
makes sense.
otherwise. How do they compete? I mean, they don't compete. As soon as they find a diamond in the rough, the diamond is gone. You know what I mean? Because someone just offered him so much bread that he can't. It's life changing for him and his family. He has to go. And then next thing you know, that school's going back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? Because in basketball, you have one diamond. I mean, that can turn your program around.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can really. Speaking of turning a program around, I'm gonna switch to the NBA right quick, because I was watching, and they're gonna be a problem in the playoffs, Ryan. The Charlotte Hornets. I'm watching the Charlotte Hornets, Greg, and they was up by 25 on the Knicks, and the Knicks tried to come back, but they ain't had no juice, no horses was coming back. How much of a problem, Ryan, will the Charlotte Hornets be, along with the Detroit Pistons in the East, for the NBA playoffs coming up? We can't hear you,
We can't hear you, Ryan.
My bad. Now it's me that had it muted. I'm so sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I don't think the Pistons are much of a threat without their near MVP winning star Cade Cunningham hurting his lung the way that he did, and
collapsed
I'm
lung,
not sure
man.
to the
Yeah,
extent a collapse, a serious injury.
it is.
It's not something that you see happen often in the NBA, especially. But I do think that the Hornets are an extremely dangerous team. Between Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball,
Who's playing
I know that his
like he's been
stats don't
playing, like
reflect it.
balling out.
Yeah, I know that he might be scoring less, but he's just developed this game so much. And then Con Canuple,
Well,
he's
What?
just a beast, man. He
What?
is so nice.
What?
He's just
Everybody
he's
talking
just
that
water.
Cooper Flag stuff, Greggy. Everybody talking Cooper Flag, but that dude Con Knipple, that boy can hoop.
And he's just such a good fit for that team. Perfect fit. That's why in the system that he's in, with LaMelo being able to dish him out the ball, they got Miles Bridges. He's finally got his mind
After
right.
all these years, he's coming around.
After all these, there's just a whole solid team. Kobe White. I mean, I'm really worried if well, let's see if they get the 8 seed right now. That means that who's the 1 seed right now? Is it the
Detroit.
Is it Detroit still?
But
Yeah,
if
so
they get
Detroit's
the,
in trouble.
if they get the
I'm sorry.
6, the Knicks is 3. That's why I'm worried. The Knicks
Yeah, I mean,
is 3,
if I'm
and
the
if they get
Pistons,
6,
I'm very worried.
that first round, and the way
And Atlanta's won 15 of their last 16 games. Really, the bottom end, even the Sixers with Tyrese Maxey, if Embiid plays well, they've got something to prove. I think the 6, 7, and 8 seed right now in the Eastern Conference are all pretty scary.
What you think?
Less
Greg?
so if you're the Celtics, I guess.
You got Cleveland at 4 too. I mean, Cleveland's at 4. You know, I mean, like I said, the East is starting to catch up to the West a little bit, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be. I mean, these are all quality teams right here. You know, they all made some trades. Kuminga went to Atlanta and turned their franchise around. You know, they got Trae Young out of there, and yeah, man, I don't. It's gonna be scary come playoff time. I mean, shoot, the Pistons they keep this bad part about it or scary part. They're winning without Cade. They're 8-2.
I was going to tell you, I don't know who this new guy they got took his place, but they said this cat has not missed a beat. He ain't Cade, but he keeps the team running. It's a new point guard. He's scoring like 18 since Cade been out, 17 a game. I forget the young man's name, but he's been a journey person. It's like, okay, now is my time. And I just look at the East as I don't see no clear winner right now. Now, y'all know I'm a Knicks fan too, but the Knicks cannot just rely upon Jalen, Brunson. They can't do it. If that's the road they're going down, we're not going to win. I'm just being honest. If Big Cat's in the game, is not in the game, and he don't use that bench the way he's supposed to, because I got a new guy for y'all, Greg. I call him Cool Mo D. That's that guy, Duarte, whatever his. That's Cool Mo D. He looked like a combination of Pascal Siakam and Bam Adebayo. He like Frenchman, 19, 20 years old. So the Knicks got a little future, but if they don't get their act together, Ryan, and Carl Anthony Towns have to stop faking these, because they foul them a lot. But come on, players, stop falling her down and all that stuff and everything. And I don't know, the Bridges trades look like a bust. Right about now, the Mikal Bridges trade, Ryan, talk to me about that. Looks like a bust.
You're giving up a lot of assets for a guy that cannot be relied on as much as you think. I don't want to rain on your parade. I'm going to let Greg do it for you.
Well, Greg's been doing it.
Hey, but you know what though? I mean, yeah. Well, how many number ones did they give up?
5, 4 or 5.
5, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a lot. I mean, but once again, it's good for Brooklyn, but it's. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, it's good for Phoenix. Got him right.
No,
Phoenix got 5 picks.
Yeah, they gave Brooklyn. Brooklyn got it. Because what's going to happen right now, I'm hoping that my man does do a little something in the playoffs. Because right about now, only a couple, 3 games left. The last half of the season, he's been trash. So, I mean, he plays decent defense, but his offense have been very suspect. And that's why the Knicks can't get past it, because he's missing everything under the sun. So he's got to get his act together.
But he's also on there. He's guarding other team's best player most of the night too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Is.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something. When you can get that out of a guy his size, the way he plays defense. I mean, that's big, and he allows those other guys. I mean, he gets points off of turnovers. You know what I mean? You guys score points off turnovers. But what about the West, man? I mean, the Lakers are 9-1 in their
Yep.
last 10 games. The Thunder are 9-1 off their last 10. Spurs
Yep.
9-1. Nuggets 8-2. And then everyone else is what it is, right? So I mean, it's I mean, and look at the Rockets. The Rockets are, they're just sitting there at number 6 right now.
But they're playing
mean,
terrible basketball. They
know they are.
lost in 3 overtimes. They were up by 13 in the final overtime. First of all,
And
Kevin
they hang their
Durant
hat on defense. You know what I mean? They hang their hat on
Durant
defense.
got to get rid of that commercial with his legs. That's what's messing him up. They show the commercial, and all they show is pose. And I'm like, damn, dude, you ain't got no muscles in your joints. What's going on with your legs? So I'm sorry.
He's working out those fingers.
Sidebar.
On his cell phone.
How much time we got, Ryan?
That's it. We gotta go. But everybody could follow us at Fox Sports Radio WGO.com. That's our website. We're up there. Also on What's Going On Sports, of course. If you want to follow Greg, is it Greg Vaughn 23 on Instagram, Greg?
Yeah, Greg Vaughn 23 Instagram. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Nate Brown Jr. Fox.
Yeah. Whatever.
On all
Easy guy to
platforms.
find. Type his name in.
All right, and
for
fellas, I
listening,
want to
bro.
thank you guys as well, Greg. We got to get you to Rochester in June. Seriously, I'm on a mission. I'm trying to get you here for the Negro League Light, man. It's powerful, and they bring in some of the old guys, and they just do a real good job, man. I really want to get you here. So,
all right, sounds good.
Let me try to do my thing for that, man. Ryan, I love you. I'll be in New York in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna try to see you.
I love you both greatly. I appreciate you both, but I'm gonna defend the Yankees in a very unbiased manner. I know you guys thinking I'm this biased, crazy Yankees fan, but no, we've got a lot more to prove, more than just 2 games. So hang in there, Yankees fans. Don't let these guys discourage you.
Hey,
Appreciate
man.
all of you guys out there.
Until next week, if God spares all our lives, including Yankees, we'll be back. This is Nate Brown Jr. for Fox Sports with Greg Vaughn and Ryan V. Until next week, see you.